Hello there everybody, welcome back to another MapleStory video. In this video, as I'm sure you can tell by the title, God bless, that's what it's there for. This video is going to be talking about sort of, what do you think is gonna... It's the counterpart to the Lost Ark video, basically, that I did. Because I got a comment from somebody, and they were like, why don't you do this for MapleStory too? And I was like, you know what? That might not be a bad idea. So, basically, what do you think is going to be released or showcased at the winter update for Korea? And what do you hope to be released or showcased or changed, right? So, both games are very identical in the sense that they have 2 content cycle patches. I think that's just kind of how it works in Korea. For most of their games, if I had to guess. Where they have like a big patch in the summer and a big patch in the winter. And they typically showcase it via like a live stream. So my perspective is going to be that of a not super endgame player, and up until recently a more casual player at that. So if that's not something you're interested in, no worries, you don't have to watch. But if you're expecting some super nuanced endgame player's opinion, that is not what you're getting from me. And as far as what do I think I'll start with what do I think they're going to release or reveal on the live stream. So I do follow it briefly, and I've seen the things that they've historically released in these updates. Like the last update brought with it the new boss Limbo and Talahart, that whole region. And I'm not a stranger to the concept behind the content cycles of this game. Realistically, what do I think is going to be showcased? I think it's very likely that a new class is going to be showcased. It's very weird coming back to this game from when I used to play it religiously and like take it very seriously, because back then new classes would come out multiple times per year. Obviously now it has slowed down significantly. Honestly, during the time that I've been playing the game again, it's been a little over a year now, there hasn't been a new class. The newest class was Kali, and I think I started playing the game, like, just when the Kali creation event stuff was ending. So, there has not been a new class since I've started playing the game. And it just kind of feels like a new class is likely something that they would do. So I think it's pretty likely they're going to get a new class. I also think it's pretty likely that they're pushing, obviously, the 290 stuff, Talahart, Limbo, the new stuff. So I think it's pretty likely, and I mean, I could be completely off my fucking rocker here, but I think it's pretty likely that they are going to reduce the curve or make the curve better in some way up to 290, maybe up to 285 and not quite 290 yet. I think it's something that is like a 50-50 rather than I truly believe this is what they're gonna do, and if they don't, I'll be surprised. I think that's like a 50-50, but those are the things that I kind of expect going forward. I also kind of expect there to be... Somebody needs to invite me to an MPE. Please, please, I beg you. But I kind of expect there to be the new class. I expect there to be something new in Talahart, whether it be another new boss or, like I said, XP curve reduction to get more people to there. I don't expect there to be a level cap increase. I think people... I saw some mentions of people saying, oh, level cap increase. And I'm just like... We have one level 300 in GMS, and I'm not even sure if Korea has any. I don't think a level cap increase is coming anytime soon. And I want to be wrong, but I also don't think they're going to be adding any new origin skills. And what I mean by this... Oh, let me actually accept this. What I mean by this is this. Like the actual skill. This is kind of blending together. I wish for more origin skills, but I don't think they will. Oh shit. That was me. I don't think they are going to be adding, but I wish they will. I think realistically what we'll probably see from the 6-job system is likely more mastery skills. Even then, I'm unsure if they're going to do another mastery skill so soon. I think we might get more hexastat, and that might be it until the next live stream, honestly speaking. I hope I'm wrong, but it seems like that if they don't spread out how they unlock their things, it could very quickly get into a position where it's like they're releasing way too much 6-job stuff and not like enough ways to continue progressing it aside from like the super sweaty grinders, if that makes sense. Because I'll talk about my personal wants, but the fragment acquisition rate is definitely something that I want them to change. And I guess we can go into what I want them to change now, because I think I've said pretty much everything that I think they'll do. Everything else is just a complete fucking guess. I don't know, man. But the things that I wish they would add, and again, this is coming from the perspective of somebody who, again, isn't super endgame, isn't super serious about the game, and just kind of plays on a more casual level. I'm very aware I'm not casual anymore, especially not with how I play the game these days specifically, but I'm very understanding of sort of the more casual perspective. And one of the biggest things for me when I was playing this game as like daily story pretty much exclusively is how slow it is to progress 6-job. Now, I'm aware when every system gets released, it's incredibly slow to start, right? It is. But, and this is kind of, it ties into why I don't think they're going to be releasing any more like either mastery nodes or like actual skill or common nodes anytime soon. And that's because I think the fragment gap will only get bigger if they keep adding more and more skills. And I mean, me personally, I do hope they add another skill, because I think origin skills themselves, like for Nightwalker, our origin skill is silence. I think these active skills are very cool. And I think it's a big draw to 6-job rather than just buff nodes that basically do nothing. Like, yeah, Hexa Quintuple Star changes kind of, but it functions identically the same before the Hexa Mastery node. And the Hexa Shadowbat node literally just gives it more damage. All of these nodes are literally just boost nodes that boost damage. Like, they don't do anything. The most cool thing about 6-job to me is the active origin skill, and honestly, Soul Janus has been really, really fucking cool too. I mean, this has revolutionized how people train, which I think is cool, and it's shortened the gap between good farmers and bad farmers. And I think seeing the power that these active skills have is cool. And then obviously with Hexastat, we're getting the second Hexastat soon in our version, but you can see there's room for quite a few more. So I think it's, and also Hexastat is pretty cheap to just max out if you don't care where the levels end up. I think it's like 500 fragments or something. So if they don't change the cost and like make it go up exponentially, the more the higher level the Hexastat is, they could just add another Hexastat and call it a day, because that wouldn't be a massive fragment increase or a fragment sink. But I do think they need to add more ways to get fragments. Now, I don't know what the best way to do that is. I think the easiest would probably be adding fragments to event shops, right? I think that would add a lot of fragments to the game that obviously weren't there prior, right? And it would also... let me run Dojo. I might as well do something while I yap. It would also give, like, a reason... Or not a reason, because there's already a reason for casual players. It would give, like... I don't know the right word. All I know is it doesn't feel good, especially if you look at how many fragments you need versus how many fragments you have. Like on a calculator or something. Like, let me double check my fragments. I've spent 11k fragments into 6th job, and that's only 38.8% completion, or 38.4% completion. So this hexa is only 34% completed. And granted, I haven't been grinding super hard the whole time. I was very daily story only up until around September, and then September I've been grinding multiple hours per day. So I've been playing a lot of catch-up, quote-unquote, in that sense. But the acquisition of fragments is very slow. And this is very prohibitive, especially for, like, a casual player. And I understand, like, a casual player, quote-unquote, doesn't necessarily need a maxed-out hexa matrix, but progression is what keeps people playing games, right? And what I'm thinking about specifically when I say casual player and it's, like, hindering, casual players probably don't just focus on one character for the most part. I mean, some do, sure, but I think a lot of people, and especially for Legion mains, it's very hard to play multiple characters because you only get 12 fragments a day from your daily. You can only do it once, right? And there's no way to get more fragments after that, aside from grinding, right? So I think, acquisition rate aside, I think adding fragments to event shops, and also making the fragment daily completable on every character in your account, and just making the fragments untradeable. Because I'm aware it's likely the reason why they don't do that is because of regular server, and the fact that it's tradable. So people could just theoretically farm a bunch of different quests on a bunch of different characters. Though I don't even think that would be very time efficient, all things considered. I just think they should make the fragment daily quest doable on every single character and give fragments, right? I think that in combination with giving out fragments in event shops, I think that would be good enough for now. But in the future, I do think that more is probably going to need to be done in order to track how much, like, the gap is, I guess. I was trying to think of the right word. Because you have to keep in mind, every time they add a new 6th job skill, it takes X amount of 1,000 fragments to maximize, or max it out, like hit it maximum level on it, right? And obviously, node stones were similar in the sense that node stones were not super plentiful until 5th job had been out for a while. This is true. But this is why I'm saying I think they can gradually start adding things to, like, event shops and make, like, the Erda daily. Oh, I need to use my guild skills. I am so not paying attention. It doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to do dojo for a good score. I'm just doing it because I want the XP coupons. As long as I get my 10k points, I don't give a shit. But I say this because I understand, like, 5th job initially was the same way, right? It was slow going, you know? But I think 6th job is a lot different from 5th job in the sense that you need a lot more and you get a lot less, right? And if you're trying to play other characters, I mean, it was the same way with 5th job, don't get me wrong, where it was prohibitively kind of hard to play. But the one benefit about 5th job versus 6th job is the fact that even in Reboot, you could transfer node stones through storage. So eventually your main character would be done with their nodes at some point, and then you could collect nodes for your other characters. And with fragments, you just can't do that. That's not even taking into account how much longer the 6th job grind would be compared to the 5th job grind, even at its infancy. But hopefully that makes sense. I'll stop yapping about 6th job now, because there is a couple more things that I wanted to touch on and that I hope that they do. I don't expect them to, but I hope that they do. Even though I'm not like a super endgame player, I do think pitched drop rate should be addressed in some way. I think the easiest way to do it would be just taking the systems that they already have in the game and just applying that to pitched as well. Drop, like, tokens or fragments or whatever you want to call them. Make it so every, like, 20 or 10 or 30 fragments you get a pitched item. The actual acquisition rate from that, I'm not going to talk about, because, I mean, I think you can make a bunch of different arguments for a bunch of different time frames. But I think just making it reliably obtainable once every X amount of time is just... it's just better than what we have currently. And that is not to say that they have to take out the completely random drops either. I think it's totally fine to leave the random drops in and also make them guaranteed. I don't think that would be insane. But I know I'm huffing a lot of copium there, and I definitely... this is why it's in the things that I would want but I don't expect category. Because I'm not that naive or stupid. I get it. It's not going to happen. But it would be nice, right? And honestly, I think for now, that's like it, you know? I think the 6 job thing is like the biggest thing for me, especially when I was casual, because it felt like I was making no progress on my hexa, like at all. And I mean, to be fair, I really wasn't, right? It was only once I started seriously grinding that it felt like my hexa was actually moving. And I mean, it's been a year now, so I think it's been long enough to be able to start adding more sources of fragments from things like event shops, or letting multiple characters get the fragments from the Soul Urda daily quest. Just small things like that I think would help. And obviously the fact that I would like to see more origin skills, 6 job skills, whatever they want to call them, just the actual skill part of 6 job, because I think those are really cool, and I think they are, while they're incredibly strong, I just think they're cool, man. The cutscene is whatever, but it's cool having like this special skill that actually matters, you know what I mean? Anyways, I think that's about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Or you don't have to, obviously. You do whatever you want. I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. You do you, boo. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out. I love you all. Consider becoming a member. All that good shit. Like the video. Subscribe. Bye-bye.